Hey everyone, it's Starman here. Welcome back to the channel. It's good to be back and it's good to have you back as well. In today's video, we're going to have a look at the PSA grading scale from 1 to 10. Alright, we're going to have a look at it. I might read through some of those descriptions on PSA's website, and we're also going to have a look at some cards that I have in my personal collection that are graded from those grades. I don't have a 1 or a 2 though. Alright, I've got 3 to 10. So we're just going to have to make do and have a look at those grades and see if they line up to what is written on PSA's website. Okay? Alright, if you're new to the channel, guys, hit that subscribe button for me, smash the like button, and let's get into this PSA grading scale 1 to 10 video. Alright, let's do it. Alright guys, how are we doing? So for this PSA grading 1 to 10, I've got examples from 3 to 10. I don't have a PSA 1 or a PSA 2, unfortunately, on hand, so we're gonna just have to go with what is on PSA's website right here. So PSA 1, now they've got a Mickey Mantle baseball card, all right, a 1952 tops. Now this card in a 10 is disgustingly expensive. Anyway, probably in a PSA 1 as well. So a PSA 1 will exhibit many of the same qualities of a PSA 1.5, but the defects may have advanced to such a serious stage that the eye appeal of the card has nearly vanished in its entirety. A poor card may be missing 1 or 2 small pieces, exhibit major creasing that nearly breaks through all layers of cardboard, or it may contain extreme discoloration or dirtiness throughout that may make it difficult to identify the issue or content of the card on either the front or the back. A card of this nature may also show noticeable warping or another type of destructive defect. Now, they haven't listed all of the destructive defects, but obviously they've got some on hand. Now, you can see that this PSA 1, it's, okay, number 1, okay, it's really off center. Number 2, there's crease lines everywhere on this card. There is damage and scratching all through it. It's discolored as well. The coloration isn't as strong, and it's very damaged. So that is why this example's got a PSA 1. Okay, I don't have a PSA 1. I'm going to skip that. I'm going to go straight to the 2. Now you can already see here the 2. The coloration is very similar. Okay. Oops. The coloration between the 2 and the 1 is pretty similar, but this has way less creases and way less scratches. Also the centering, I don't know if the centering does improve or not. Maybe that's just how they made the cards back then. This side was very thick, this side's very thin. I'm not sure. As we have a look further up, we'll have a look. PSA 2 cards' corners show accelerated rounding and surface wear is starting to become obvious. A good card may have scratching, scuffing, light staining, or chipped of enamel and obverse. There may be several creases. Original gloss may be completely absent, so gone. Card may show considerable discoloration. Centering must be 90 out of 10 or better on the front and back. So I can't see the back of this card, but that is the PSA 2. All right, we're going to jump up to the 3. Now already the 3 looks much better. Okay, less creasing, less scratches. Coloration is much higher quality. So we'll have a look here. PSA 3 card reveals some rounding of the corners, though not extreme. Some surface wear will be apparent, along with possible light scuffing or light scratches, so maybe that's lightly played. Focus may be somewhat of off-register, and edges may exhibit noticeable wear. Much, but not all, of the card's original gloss will be lost. Borders may somewhat be yellowed and or discolored. A crease may be visible. Printing defects are possible, so print lines. Slight stain may show and observe wax staining on reverse may be more prominent. Centering must be 90 out of 10 or better on the front and back. So I've got a PSA 3. All right, now here is my PSA 3. Okay, my example. This is a Red Eyes Black Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh! All right. If you love Yu-Gi-Oh!, drop a comment. This is from the starter deck Joey, SDJ, what that stands for. So I had this when I was a kid. I thought it looked pretty good, and I said to myself, oh, I'll send it off and get graded. I got this graded quite a while back, actually, a couple of years now. And it only came back a 3. I was a bit shocked. I thought it was going to be maybe a 6 or a 7. The front to me looked pretty good. So to me, I can see that some of the corners of the card have been rounded off and have that edge wear, which is what it explains on their site. Okay, actually all 4 of the corners are like that. I didn't see any scratching on this part. The hollow foil to me looked pretty good. I can see 1 scratch through here. But other than that, I can't see any, like, even small scratches or big scratches elsewhere on the hollow foil. It looked pretty good to me. However, I turn it over on the back and there is heaps of creases. And they did talk about creases in their example. So you can see, if you can see here at the top there, guys, there is creases all across the top, okay? All right, up the top there, you can see that there is heaps of creases, okay? 1, 2, 3, up the top there. Now it continues, there's another huge crease area just here, okay? Heaps of creases there, all right? Now the edges and corners of this card are not good, okay? Across this whole back side here, it is damaged, all right? Really, really damaged. You can see all there, along that whole side there, really damaged up the top corner as well. So now that I've read that, yeah, I agree, okay? It matches up with what they said about the corners, the edge wear, the creasing, you know, the whitening, corners, you know, being off. So the back definitely does add up. To me, the centering, the border looks pretty centered to me. But all the other things that come into it, and there's a bit of dirtiness there, I think, but all of those other factors come into it, right? And that is why this got a PSA 3. A PSA 4. Corners may be slightly rounded. Surface wear is noticeable but modest. The card may have light scuffing or light scratches. Some original gloss will be retained. Borders may be slightly off-white. A light crease may be visible. Centering must be 85 to 15 or better on the front and 90 to 10 on the back. I will show you guys the website again in a sec so you can see the centering, but I'm just going to go through mine quickly now. So this is my Alakazam, one of the first hollows I pulled as a kid. I played with this, I battled with this. Wasn't expecting anything crazy, so a 4, I was pretty happy with that. I can see plenty of scratches on this hollow foil. So there's a lot surrounding Alakazam's torso and his head. I don't know if you guys can see them at home, but I can see them on here. There's heaps of scratches, right? So the hollow foil is damaged. There's probably some dirty parts up here as well. There's a little black speck up there. That's not on here, so that's on the card. So the scratching is not great to see on there. On the back, you can clearly see that the corners, edge wear is there's damage and white areas, okay, all across there, at the top as well, side too. So, you know, there's a few creases, there's lots of corner wear, edge wear, whitening, okay, so that lines up with what they're saying, that there's noticeable wear and tear on the card. So I think that lines up with a PS4, okay? I agree with them. On PSA 5 cards, very minor rounding of the corners is becoming evident. Surface wear or printing defects are more visible. There may be minor chipping on edges. Loss of original gloss will be apparent, which is exactly on this card. Focus off picture may be slightly out of register. Several light scratches may be visible upon closer inspection, but do not detract from the appeal of the card. Card may show some off-whiteness of borders. Centering must be 85 to 15 or better on the front and 90 to 10 or better on the back. Now this shadowless Charmander, I thought it was going to get less than that. And we're going to compare it to the 4 now and see how they've done grading. So they've given me a 5 on this card. Now I can see already heaps more damage and wear and tear on this card compared to the Alakazam Hollow, right? The corners at the top here are shocking. Okay, they're actually like, the top of it is almost bending in as black as well. There is lots of dirtiness up here, okay, along the top there. I'm not sure if you guys can see that clearly or not, but it's very dirty. There are specks of dirt and rubbish all along here. The front is much worse than the Alakazam, okay, for edge wear. So the edge wear along here, really bad, really bad. Same down the bottom, that corner's almost peeling up, yeah? There are specks again here, black specks all through here. It's really dirty, it's fully lost its glow and shine. Oh, not that it had shine, but it's coloration, okay? Now it is shadowless, okay? So there's no color border there and there. You can clearly see that it's a shadowless Pokemon. One of the first shadowless cards I pulled when I was a kid. And then on the back, Mamma Mia, so much worse than the Alakazam. Look at that, guys. The top is horrible, okay? You can really see it, you know, getting picked apart there. Same with the side here, really bad. The bottom's horrible. And then look at all the black specks again. It's a dirty card. Now you might say, well, let's have a look here. How has, now I'm looking at the sides of this card at the front. Now there's not a lot of damage or edge wear or corner wear on the front here, is there? All right, compared to this card. But for some reason, this has gotten a higher grade. I don't agree with that. I think this is like a 3, to be honest. The damage is significantly more than this Alakazam. Even the back. The Alakazam has damage from here to there, a little bit there, a little bit down here, a little bit on the corner, and a little bit down the bottom. This has it all over. Plus, it's dirty, right? So I'm not sure grading that day, whoever was doing it. This, I was happy with a 4, but looking at that now, you should have given me a 5 for that one. All right, maybe even a 6, probably a 5. This is not a 5. All right, so let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with my my feedback to them? Do you agree with my judgment on this card and the Alakazam? Let me know what your thoughts are, guys, because I don't feel that that's a 5. This is another example of another 5, very quickly. Skyridge, 2003. This is a Rhydon Holo. Now, I don't see too many scratches on the holo foil. There's probably some on there, but I can't see it. Maybe one there. Front's looking pretty good. There's not too many nicks or edge wear. But you turn over in the back and you can see a bit of whitening and damage up here. There's a crease line up here, which has dropped it down. Edge wear and corners all the way along, all the way down here. Another speck there. So you can see why this has been given a 5, which I agree with. It's pretty similar to the Alakazam, and I think the Alakazam should have been given a 5 as well. Not that it makes a massive difference, but every little grade does help, especially when you're getting up to, like, you know, 8s, 9s, 10s. So a PSA 6 card may have visible surface wear or a printing defect, which does not detract from its overall appeal. Interesting. A very light scratch may be detected only upon close inspection. Corners may have slightly graduated fraying. Picture focus may be slightly out of register, so off-center they're talking about. Card may show some loss of original gloss, may have minor wax stains or on reverse, may exhibit very slight notching on edges, and may also show some off-whiteness on borders. All right, so this is my 1996 Japanese base set Charizard, okay? It came back a 6, all right? And you can see on this Charizard, there is quite a few scratches on the holofoil, if I get it in the right spot. All little scratches, okay? There is edge and corner wear on each of the edges and up the top, all right? Fair enough, I agree with that. Down here, same thing, there's a bit of corner wear, especially here. Not peeling back as such, but you can see that, you can see the color underneath the yellow. Okay, let's see if I can, you guys see that? So it is, yeah, I think that's a fair grade. And then on the back, we've got a lot of edge wear here and whitening. Whoops, sorry. So lots of edge wear and whitening there. Obviously down on the corners as well. Corners are not great. And along the side here too, we've got edge wear, whitening, and some slight scratches on the back. So for me, fair enough. A PSA 6, that matches up to that. Light scratches, a little bit off center. What else was there? Corners starting to fray, like that bottom one. Okay, that's, you know, I would consider that as fraying. Okay, so I agree with that grade. Let me know what you guys think. And then I've got my original English 1999 base set Charizard, which also came back a 6. Now on this one, lots of play with this, because that's what it was all about. Lots of scratches on this holofoil. This bad boy has been on the cricket pitch. He's been in my bag, my school bag. He's been everywhere. All right, there's a print line right across the middle there. There is scratches all over the holofoil. But other than that, I think it's in pretty good nick. The corners and edgeware are not too bad on the front, from what I can see on close look up. And then on the back, you can see a little bit of wear and tear, okay? Just up here, just up the top there and on the corner. All right, little speck there. And then down the bottom is the next most obvious part. That part there, whitening edgeware, and here as well. But other than that, guys, I was stoked that it came back a 6. You know, this bad boy had a lot of love, all right? So I agree with their grade there. 7. Now I've got 2 examples. I've got a Lugia and a Machamp. All right, is a card with just slight surface wear visible upon close inspection. There may be slight fraying on some corners. Picture focus may be slightly out of off center. A minor printing blemish is acceptable, okay? Slight wax staining is acceptable on the back of the card only. Most of the original gloss is retained. Centering must be approximately 70-30 or better on the front. So it's interesting, a minor printing blemish is acceptable. So they don't take that into consideration for cards in this range. So this is my 2017 SM Black Star Shining Lugia, okay? It's a promo, SM82. And I sent this off because I saw it and I was like, I looked at it and I was like, it looks good. It looks clean, right? The holofoil looked great. And I love that this Lugia has like it's like a bumpy holofoil. I don't know if you guys can see that, but on the actual Pokemon, it's like gridded. It's really cool. But yeah, I sent this off. It looked very nice, very, very good. So I thought I was going to get more than a 7. We've got a little bit of edge wear up there on the corner, a little bit up that top side. There's nothing on the sides that would deem it not okay, I don't think. Maybe a little bit there. Down the bottom, there's a little speck just there. And that's about it, you know, like I don't think there's any big printing blemishes. To me, the front of the holofoil looks so good, guys. I can't see any damage in there, so I would have loved an 8 in this. That's what I thought it would come back as, but obviously not. Then we've got our first edition Machamp from base set. Now this one, you can see a little print line down the bottom. There are scratches on the holofoil. The centering looks great though, to me, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit right to left off, but it looks pretty good, okay? Not a huge like dropout. The back looks way better than the Lugia. I can see a bit of damage up the top here, right? Just there. And a little bit on the left there, a little speck. The sides look great, okay? The bottom looks great. I can't see any damage. The centering looks pretty good, but you can see the right to left. So if they've docked this down to a 7 because of those specs, there was more on the Lugia, and maybe the holofoil is a little bit more damaged, so maybe they took the front into more consideration. But yeah, I think the Lugia should have gotten an 8. Maybe this one's a fair grade for a 7. All right, on to the 8s. We'll go with the reverse Charizard. I don't have too many 8s. I've got a Lugia there as well. The reverse Charizard is a super high-end card that appears mint 9 at first glance, but upon closer inspection, the card can exhibit the following: a very slight wax stain on reverse, slightest fraying at 1 or 2 corners, and minor printing imperfections and or slightly off white borders. And then it talks about the centering as well, which says it needs to be 65-35 on the front and 90-10 or better on the back end. Now this has print lines, huge print lines. It's got one there, it's got one there, and I don't know if it goes onto the picture there. Obviously reverse holo it's shiny around the outside, yeah, not on the actual Charizard picture. So there's 2 massive print lines. Have they taken that consideration, or have they gone, oh no, it's just a printing blemish, we're not going to worry about that? I'm not sure. The centering is off right to left. You guys can see that, yeah? The back does have damage. Now, again, I pulled this fresh from a pack, so I have not touched this. I put it straight into a penny sleeve, and then straight into a like a top loader. And there was already damage on here. Okay, so this is just from the cards getting printed. Okay, I've literally touched this card once, pulled it, sleeved it, and that was it. Okay, so an 8, yep, I'll take an 8. I agree with them there. All right, and then there's the Lugia 2011 Call of Legends Holo. I love Lugia. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. I didn't think this was going to get an 8. There's quite a few scratches on this card. When I tilt it this way, I can see them going along here. Now they might be even print lines, but to me they look like scratches, or it could be on the surface of the PSA card. But I think it's on this. I think it is on the card. I can see a big scratch up there. The coloration, I'm not actually sure if that is meant to be more yellow. It's very yellow and white, so I don't know if it's lost color or not. The back is pretty good. There's a bit of damage in this top corner up here and down this bottom corner as well. Okay, but the back's looking pretty good. The centering looks pretty good as well, have to admit. So on the back, it's looking all right. Centering on the front's good too. So maybe that's why it got pushed up to an 8. I thought maybe a 7 with this one. I don't know what you guys think. All right, onto the big boys. Onto the biggies. All right, a 9. So according to PSA, a Mint 9 is a superb condition card that exhibits only one of the following minor flaws: a very slight wax stain on reverse, a minor printing imperfection, or slightly off white borders. Centering must be approximately 60-40 or better on the front and 90-10 on the back. Now, for this Charizard, it took me a while to get this, guys, but I ended up pulling it a while back. I'll link the video. I was buzzing when I got it. It was one of the last Hidden Fates big boys I needed. And unfortunately, the centering of this card has what has docked it down to a 9. Okay, 100% I believe that. That the centering that they've talked about on the PSA's website is why this has happened. No slight wax, no printing imperfections, unless you call that a printing imperfection, and slightly white borders, no whitening. So it is off center. You can see on the right here, okay, a much thicker gap outside of that black border compared to the left side. All right, I feel like they've looked at that and gone, right, it's off center, it's tilted that way a little bit. We're going to dock you down to a 9. Other than that, guys, the actual card's surface to me was just immaculate when I saw it. Obviously, I'm biased but it just looks so nice and still looks so nice. The back as well, when I pulled it, I didn't see any damage or anything. Like, corners are all perfect. No corners or edge wear, no whitening, nothing. Okay, back is like crisp as, beautiful. Okay, so I really hoped for a 10. I didn't get it, didn't get what I wanted, and that happens. It came back a 9, and that is probably because the centering was off there. Same with the birds as well. I feel like the centering is better on this than the Charizard, so maybe they've pulled me up for something else. Okay, centering looks pretty good to me there. All right, maybe they've picked me up for a slight printing imperfection that I can't see, which is highly likely. There might be something on here that I cannot see, and their machines have spotted it and found it. Okay, that's what I think. That's what I think has happened. I don't think there's any stains. I don't think there's been any whitening or edge wear or border wear. To me, the edges and border are perfect. Centering is better on here than the Charizard, so maybe that's not a case, and maybe it's just a printing imperfection somewhere. Okay, maybe it's something I can't see. Here we go. A PSA Gem Mint 10 card is virtually perfect, okay? Attributes include 4 perfectly sharp corners, sharp focus, and a full original gloss. A Gem Mint 10 card must be free of staining of any kind, but an allowance may be made for a slight printing imperfection. Interesting. If it doesn't impair the overall appeal of the card. The image must be centered on the card within a tolerance not to exceed approximately 55 to 45% on the front and 75 to 25% on the reverse. All right, Cosmic Eclipse, Blastoise and Piplup GX. This came back a bad boy 10. All right, so they have deemed this card exactly what they have stated on their website. All right, exactly. And, you know, I agree. Centering is great. No whitening, no edge wear. No, it's sharp, all right? The corners are sharp, okay? I don't think there's any, you know, printing errors or damage. The centering on the front is near perfect. Look at that. It is near perfect. It's really good. It's glossy, it's shiny, nothing that is impairing the overall image of the card, okay? That is a 10. I agree with them. The Umbreon, same deal. Centering is amazing, really good. Like, you know, I don't know if you can beat that, right? It looks great. Coloration, gloss, the shine, it's amazing. And this in a 10 is, god damn. On the back, no whitening, no corners, no edge wear. There's a tolerance to the centering. Maybe that's a bit thicker on the right to the left, just. But, you know, they've said that there's a tolerance, so, This one, however, boom. My first Charizard that I pulled when I first got back into Pokemon. Opened a Burning Shadows booster box, and this was halfway through that. I didn't film it because I didn't have a YouTube channel. I was just opening it for fun, and I pulled this. I was in shock, and it's very expensive now. Now, to me, I'm going straight to the centering here, guys. I think the centering for this is off what their approximation is of what is tolerant, or what they're tolerating. Okay, I don't know what you guys think, but look at the thickness at the top there. I feel like that's thicker than the bottom. Yeah? I don't know what you guys think. Yeah, I don't know. I said this years ago when it came back to 10. I was like, oh, it's a 10. I wasn't expecting it a 10 because I was looking at the back and I was thinking, oh, it's a little bit off center. However, the front centering, it looks pretty good. You've got that border with the color on the outside, and that goes right around. It's pretty spot on. So maybe it's just in that range of them being tolerant. It would have to be, okay? Yeah, let me know what you guys think. All right, so that is my 3 to 10s. I don't have 1s or 2s. I apologize for that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I really hope you enjoyed that. So this is their 10, all right? This is their Mickey Mantle 10, okay? That's their definition of it, all right? And you can see, I mean, the only thing that's changing there is maybe the coloring, maybe the centering a little bit. Yeah, centering here is a little bit off, and that's just smack bang dead in the middle. But how different is it to the ones down here, or that didn't get graded? Like, look at that. And it's so funny that cards even back then were getting printed like that, and they, you know, it still happens. It still happens. You get miscuts, and you get cards that the centering is just shocking. So it's been happening for a long time. So that's a 1, and that's a 10. Okay, and you can see the difference there. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that video of looking at the PSA grades from my PSA grades from 3 to 10. Maybe I'll get a 1 and a 2 eventually if I submit some shocking cards, and then we can do a little check. But yeah, 3 is my lowest, 10 is my highest. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Starman out. Peace.